For the last 17 years, Dogs defensive coordinator Glenn Schumann has been alongside Kirby Smart, whether that was at Alabama, where Smart was a defensive coordinator for Nick Saban, or at UGA, where the two have been together since 2016. Schumann is considered by many as Smart's right-hand man. We spoke about that relationship, forming a defensive identity, and much more earlier this week as the Dogs entered week 2 of fall camp.
I know every year identities are created differently, but can you tell me kind of what goes into creating an identity for your defense? Sometimes I'm sure it evolves during the season, but what kind of goes into becoming who you are on the field?
Well, it starts with when you play defense, you better play with a certain level of effort and physicality. We always say on defense here, you have to out-hit people, you have to out-hustle people, and you have to out-compete people. And the competitive nature shows up in those critical moments in the game, whether it's the fourth quarter, goal line stops, third downs, and that. So part of that identity is building that identity is making sure that we have the right amount of physicality and toughness in what we do, the right amount of effort, which we have to preach about every single day, and then where is our competitive nature, and highlighting that and getting them to understand it deeper than a base level of what competing is. We're trying to maximize our competitive nature, and if we do that, then we create our identity. And every year is different. Our personality on defense will be different because it's different coaches, different players, different opponents.
It seems like year after year, the game keeps trending towards the offense and helping the offense. How do you adapt with that? How do you continuously change and put up these amazing defenses here at this program and put your guys to be successful when it seems like the game continues to kind of give the offense the advantage?
I think it's really fun to coach defense in a world where a lot of times, you're right, it feels like the game's about scoring points. Why wouldn't you want to be on the side of the ball that is in charge of preventing people from scoring points? It makes you unique, it makes you different. In terms of the challenges that show up, you look at the opponent and you see what you need to do, whether that's front structures, whether that's personnel, who's playing in the game, whether that's coverages. And it's our job to put our players in the best position to be successful. It starts with teaching them a lot of football and defense, so they're equipped to handle whatever those adjustments are or whatever those game plans are. And so in camp, we do a lot of teaching and then carry that over along with that identity we got to build.
You've obviously had the privilege of working with some of the best defensive minds in between Alabama and here, and really a lot of people liken you to a young Kirby Smart these days, right? I mean, you have kind of stayed with him, you've learned from him. Can you kind of describe that relationship for me? And you've had opportunities to go elsewhere, but you've stuck around and you've helped build something here at Georgia. How does that relate to your relationship with Coach Smart and kind of, what you appreciate about learning from him and working with him?
Well, this year will be my 17th straight year with Coach Smart, and I would say the number one thing is that I really appreciate he's always treated me with respect, whether I was a student or a graduate assistant or player development or as a position coach. But within that, he's always demanded the best out of me and everyone around him. That's one of the best qualities about him. He understands exactly what he wants done. He holds people to that standard, but he also finds ways to treat people with respect as he does it. And he's always been fair to me in that regard. In terms of being here, right? One, when you have a good work environment like that, I like the demanding environment that we have here. And I like the way that he runs the organization. So that's critical because the head coach and the organization is what sets up the entire program for success. So that's a big piece, along with really enjoying. This is the longest I've ever lived in one place consecutively in my life this year. Make my 9th straight year here. It's the longest I've ever lived consecutively somewhere. I love Athens and the entire community here. I love being in Georgia, and that's a big piece. And then I love winning. And not all places are created equal. So if you love the people you work with, you love the environment, you love where you live, and you have an opportunity to compete for championships year in and year out, and have an opportunity to play defense at a really high level because we're fortunate enough to have some of the best players in the country, I think, why wouldn't you want to be here?
I love that, and kind of to go along with this, the last thing for me, what excites you the most about this fall camp specifically and the season being ahead here in the next couple weeks?
Just getting better. It's exciting to watch guys get better. It's exciting to watch young players. And I'm not just saying young, everybody thinks young means freshmen. There are guys that are young in terms of experience that might be juniors that haven't been on the field yet. And they're rapidly getting better. And so it's exciting to watch guys get better, watch guys get closer to reaching their goals, because every single one of them has goals personally and as a team, and that's exciting. And then you get to the season, and you get to see that take place in front of your eyes. That is one of the coolest things about being a coach.